Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Quickstart Guide for Recovery from Addiction and Co-occurring Disorders. This is part 4 of 6 in our mindfulness unit. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. We're going to continue to explore how mindfulness can help you use your energy to achieve your goals instead of digging deeper and deeper into the mud or the quicksand, whatever you want to call it. The first thing we're going to talk about is good orderly direction, and that is looking at the big picture. In the big scheme of things, I want to be happy and healthy. So how do I get there? What is the map? What is the process to get there? What are the instructions, if you will? And that is my good orderly direction. I'm following a master plan. As you become mindful, you will need to know where you're going and plan for how to get there. This will prevent you from getting lost or taking unnecessary detours, which sometimes end up being relapses. This map helps provide your good orderly direction. So spend about 30 minutes and define your long-term goals. What kind of person do you want to be? What does a rich and meaningful life look like to you? What values do you cherish? And you can go online and search for, one list of 100 values. If you have a hard time thinking of, well, what's a value? What should I put here? I find it's easier to do that. But identify maybe 4 or 5 values that you cherish. Another way I have people think about it is if someone were to describe you in 4 words, what 4 words would you want them to use to describe you? And what people, experiences, and things are important to you? Now, this can be really powerful if you are patient, and you don't have to be that creative, but if you're visual, get a poster board. You can get it at the dollar store, get a poster board, and make a collage of all of the people and things and experiences that are important to you, either ones that you have right now that you want to maintain or things that you want to work toward. And, put those all on the poster board so you have a literal vision of what you're working toward. That way, in the future, when you have the opportunity to, maybe take a detour, so to speak, you can ask yourself, is giving into this immediate gratification, although it sounds great right now, is this worth detouring my energy from my ultimate goal? So let's talk about good orderly direction, or God, and the 12 steps. We'll think about, for the next 30 minutes, I want you to think about how mindfulness and good orderly direction play into the first 6 steps of the 12 steps. So step 1, we admitted we were powerless over our condition, that our lives had become unmanageable. Now, you notice I said our condition because this applies to just about everything in life, whether it's depression, anxiety, addiction, cancer, autoimmune issues, or just somebody that's irritating at work that you have to work with every day. We admitted we were powerless over our condition and that our lives had become unmanageable. Well, this means being mindful. You've got to be aware that something is going on in your life that is making you feel distress or frustrated. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So in step 2, we're thinking, all right, by focusing on God as we know him, or that good orderly direction, that vision, it helps us get perspective. In the big scheme of things, I want this thing out here. I want this vision that I have. So is giving into my impulse right now going to help me move toward that, or is it going to, cause me problems? So this is looking at good orderly direction versus impulsivity. Step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand him. Now that can be your higher power, or again, it can be good orderly direction. We make a decision We have this idea of where we want to go. We have a plan for how to get there. Then we make a decision to follow that plan, to follow that good, orderly direction, because we know it's going to lead us in the right place. It's like looking at the little path markers when you go hiking. You want to keep following that. You don't want to go off on some detour because it might end up poorly. Number 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. We need to regularly examine our choices and our behaviors in contrast to our goals. At the end of each day, even, sit back and say, okay, today was a good day. Now, how much of my day, what things did I do today that helped me move toward those things, people, and experiences that are important in my life, and helped me be, what things did I do that helped me be more the person that I wanted to be? And then also look at the things that you did or thought or experienced that didn't help. But hopefully you want to focus on the things that you did that helped you move forward. And then the things that you experienced or did that weren't helpful, you want to examine. That's where the fearless moral inventory comes in. You want to examine why. If you were holding on to resentments, if you were, burning the candle at both ends and choosing not to get enough sleep because you decided you'd rather go out with your friends until 2 a.m, thinking about why did you do that? Make a fearless moral inventory of your choices in contrast to your goals and good orderly direction. Admitted to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So you can do this through prayer. If you're thinking of God in terms of good orderly direction, you're going to explore how your choices prevented you from achieving the life that you want, how it wasted energy that you could have used to move forward, and what you could do differently the next time. And finally, we were entirely ready to have God remove all of these defects of character. We were which, you could think of as we were ready to begin making choices with our future goals in mind instead of based on immediate gratification. So discuss or think about how those apply to things in your life, how those apply to, again, not only addiction or depression, but also how they apply to anything that may contribute to you feeling powerless. Finally, purposeful action. Purposeful action means becoming mindful in the present moment, acting intentionally based on your good orderly direction instead of reacting impulsively. So that means choosing sometimes not to do something even though it sounds really cool because you know it's not in your best interest. And choosing behaviors and actions that will make effective use of your energy and help you achieve your long-term goals. Purposeful action means using your energy with a purpose. Think about, whether you want to think about it as time, the sands of time, or you want to think about it as energy in your gas tank. You only have so much. And are you using it in a meaningful way in order to help you achieve that life that you want? Spend 30 minutes thinking about how nurturing resentments, feeling guilty, or stress eating can drain your energy, create a relapse trap, or prevent you from achieving other goals. Now, these are only a few detours or a few problems that can waste energy. And a lot of times when we start acting purposefully, we recognize that nurturing resentments, for example, uses a lot of energy, but it doesn't get us anywhere. And could we use that energy better to do something else? Is whatever we're resenting, is it worth draining our energy, spending our energy on that? What's one thing you could stop doing today to free up some energy? And what is one thing you can start doing today with that freed up energy to work toward your goals. For example, for me, I'll out myself. I could stop spending quite as much time on Twitter today because that has suddenly started taking up a whole lot of my time. And I could stop doing that, and I could start reading this book that's been on my bedside table for, the past month and a half, which is something that is important to me because it's a book that I feel I need to read in order to be a better therapist and educator. So that's my example. You spend 30 minutes, again, thinking about how some of those things that we often do when we're in our addicted selves or when we're feeling anxious or depressed can actually be poor uses of our energy, and how we could start making changes to more effectively and purposefully use our energy for recovery. I'll leave you with one more thing, the shortcut question, because sometimes you don't have the time to go through all of the questions and pondering. When you're faced with a decision, do I go out with my friends until 2 a.m. or do I go to bed at 8 o'clock knowing that I've got to be up at 5 a.m. to go to work? Is this behavior or reaction going to get me closer to my long-term goals, or is it an autopilot or impulsive response? Well, would I like to go out with my friends? Does it sound like a lot of fun? Oh, heck yeah. However, I know that sleep deprivation is really detrimental to my recovery process. It's a huge relapse trap for me. So would I like to do it? Yes, I would love to. But in the big scheme of things, for my own health and happiness, going out with them on a weeknight is not a good idea. So that shortcut question, just asking myself, is this a good idea for my recovery? Is an important thing to regularly ask yourself so you don't get caught up in that yes trap of saying yes to things and then, overcommitting or neglecting your own needs. Core mindfulness means being able to observe, describe, and participate in the present moment. Observe what's going on, describe how you feel, what you think, what you need, and then participate by figuring out, okay, this is what's going on. It is what it is. How can I improve the next moment? Core mindfulness also means being able to integrate information from the reasonable mind, which is your head, and the emotional mind, which is your heart, to come up with a solution in the wise mind, which I kind of think of as your gut. Core mindfulness helps you adjust your day to prevent upset if you're already vulnerable. So if you wake up and you're feeling sick, your allergies are acting up, you didn't sleep well, if you're mindful, you know that you don't feel well, and today's probably going to be, a challenging day. So you can take steps to be compassionate with yourself and be mindful so you don't bite somebody's head off because you don't feel well, in order to prevent further upset. And core mindfulness helps you observe, describe, and participate in order to choose actions and thoughts, that purposeful action, that will help you move toward your long-term goals.